In 2022, online dating is more popular than ever. In our modern, fast paced, and high tech world, the internet can be a great place to meet someone new. Many relationships and even marriages have resulted from online dating, but it can also go horribly wrong. This is the solved disappearance of Pamela Butler. Pamela Butler was born around 1962. Friends and family members described her as outgoing, funny, and always willing to help people. Pamela was also very organized and liked cleanliness, always keeping her home in tip-top shape. Pamela was also extremely vigilant about personal safety, surrounding her home with an alarm system, floodlights, and multiple security cameras. There wasn't any particular event in her past that made her this safety conscious. It was just her personality, though living alone in a big city likely contributed. Pamela earned a bachelor's degree in information technology and a master's in public administration. By 2008, the 47-year-old lived in Washington, D.C., and worked as a computer specialist for the EPA. Between income from her job and real estate investments, she was able to live pretty comfortably. But Pamela, who had been briefly married and divorced in the mid-1990s, wanted someone to share her life with. In late 2008, she met 44-year-old Jose Rodriguez Cruz on eHarmony. Jose had grown up in Puerto Rico and joined the Army when he was 17. He claimed he was honorably discharged, but the exact details of his discharge aren't clear. When he met Pamela, he lived in nearby Alexandria, and the two hit it off pretty quickly. Pamela's family liked him too. Her nephew lived with her for a while during the time that she and Jose were dating, and he said from all his observations that their relationship was pretty normal. Her other loved ones said similar things. Pamela was under a lot of stress by this point. Due to the 2008 recession, the value of one of her real estate properties had fallen quite a bit. Jose would later say that Pamela was extremely distressed about bills and other financial issues. On Thursday, February 12th, 2009, Pamela called her mom, Pamela Butler, and said she and Jose wanted to take her out to dinner the following Saturday for Valentine's Day. Later that evening, security footage at Pamela's house showed both she and Jose going inside. She was seen again on the footage later that night when she went out to check her mail, then went right back inside. That was the last time she was seen coming out of the house. According to Jose's initial story, Pamela broke up with him the next day. He said he was completely taken aback by this because she never gave him a reason for the breakup or even any indication in the previous days that she wanted to. At her request, he gathered up his things and left the house, claiming that was the last time he saw her. Over the course of that weekend, he reportedly re-entered her home multiple times, claiming he was retrieving the rest of his things. Pamela didn't show up for the Valentine's Day dinner that Saturday with her mom. At first, Thelma Butler wasn't too worried, figuring her daughter just wanted space. But when Pamela failed to show up for another family dinner a few days later, Thelma and Pamela's brother Derek went to her house to see what was going on. Right away, they noticed several red flags. The doors were locked, but the alarm system was off. One of the windows in the house was unlocked, and the blinds on that window were up, something her family claimed she would never do because it would allow people to see inside her house. And there were several other odd things they noticed. Pamela's bed sheets had been taken from her bed, and her wallet, car keys, and purse were missing, though both of her cars were still in the driveway. There were also real estate files on the floor, very uncharacteristic of her neat freak personality. Thelma Butler called the police. Jose Rodriguez Cruz was suspected of being involved from pretty early on. Early articles covering the case said he had a history of violence against women. One source said he threatened one of his female bosses, but others didn't give any specifics. Still, he was the last person to see Pamela before she went missing, and if they really had broken up like he claimed, he also had motive. Police searched Jose's apartment, seized his car and some of his other belongings, and questioned him. Jose maintained his innocence and said nothing would be found that showed he was responsible. Pamela's brother Derek also pressed Jose for answers. Jose told Derek that Pamela had broken up with him because he wanted to stay in touch with his ex-girlfriend's daughter, and she didn't like this. Derek was skeptical of this because Pamela liked kids. But despite everyone's suspicions, there wasn't much that could be done. Other than the red flags and things out of place, not much else was found in Pamela's home, and subsequent searches in the area also turned up no new clues. With no body and very little evidence, Pamela's case quickly went cold. In 2016, she was declared legally dead by a judge. Around July of 2017, the case was looked at again with fresh eyes. Led by Detective Michael Fulton, police in this new investigation did a deep dive into Jose's past, which included more allegations of violence. It's not clear just what they found, but it was apparently enough for them. In late September of 2017, Jose Rodriguez Cruz was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. He initially continued to maintain his innocence, but eventually confessed to strangling Pamela and slipping her body out of the house through a rear window. Derek Butler believes Jose killed Pamela because she broke up with him and he couldn't handle it. Her family also thinks he slipped her body through a first-floor window out of view of the security cameras. In early October of that year, Jose pled guilty to second-degree murder. He would get a 12-year sentence with 5 years probation. In exchange for this, he had to make a good faith effort, according to NBC Washington, to lead investigators to Pamela's remains. Jose led police to the median of I-95 in Stafford County, Virginia. On December 8, 2017, Pamela's partial remains were found near the road. The next day, it was announced that investigators would not be searching for the rest of her body. Due to construction and drainage on the road, it was thought that digging any further would be too risky. It was also likely that the construction had destroyed or moved her remains from their original spot, making them that much more difficult to locate and recover. But there is an epilogue of sorts here. While looking for Pamela's remains in Virginia, investigators were told about a set of unidentified remains that had been found on the same stretch of road in 1991. In 2018, these remains were positively identified as those of Jose's first wife. Marta Rodriguez was 28 years old when she was last seen at a bus stop in Alexandria, Virginia in April of 1989. She and Jose were estranged when she went missing, and he'd been arrested a few weeks earlier after she claimed he assaulted her. Those charges were dropped when Marta failed to show up for a court date to testify against him. She went missing a week later. Her case was closed in 2000 when a woman with her name was located in Florida. However, this was actually the sister of Jose's second wife. She had been posing as Marta, presumably at his request. Years later, when Jose had Thanksgiving dinner with Pamela's family, he told them that his first wife had gone missing but had later been found. They didn't assume anything nefarious about this at the time. In 2019, Jose was charged with first-degree murder in Marta's death. He pled guilty to second-degree murder in 2020 and was sentenced to 40 years in prison in 2021. As of March 2022, he remains in prison.